What is up, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, coming to you live. Talk about this upcoming UFC event for UFC 258 this Saturday. So this is a decent card, not one of my favorites. This is already a couple of canceled fights. Also, I feel bad for Green in the Miller fight. I mean, he just collapsed on stage. I don't think he's going to fight this weekend. It was scary to me. I'm not sure, like I said, if he's going to. Just hearts out to him, man. I hope he's all right. I hope everything goes well with him and his family. And I hope he just returns back from the hospital full of strength. But anyways, let's talk about this card. But before we begin, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That helps me out a ton, as y'all know. And let's dig right into this. We're going to start with the main event in Usman versus Burns. So, Gilbert Burns versus Usman. They've been lifelong training partners. They train at the same gym. They've been sparring partners. That's what's scary to me. Already at first glance is we don't know how these two guys are going to go after each other. Basically, in the main event, and the championship belt is on the line. So we could see a different side of Burns and Usman, which I think Usman's going to be out there basically going for the punches, basically swinging for the fences because of this is the training fight. So this will be intense. The belt is on the line. I think this is going to be more than a sparring match. I think this is going to be, like I said, very intense. Burns, the cardio has improved, but the cardio is what still kind of worries me. I think Usman has the cardio advantage. I think Usman has the striking advantage. But for the wrestling, I think Burns can slightly beat him on the wrestling aspect. So as long as Usman keeps his chin up against Burns, I think Usman wins this fight. I think this fight is all for his. At 9,000, he's definitely a core piece of mine. But on the contrarian side, I wouldn't mind going against the main event, basically trying to get different elsewhere. The co-main event, Grosso versus Barber. So this is a female main event. I actually like this female fight. I typically try to stay away from female fights, but this fight I may not be able to. Grosso, she's going to have to comment the submission, basically the submission attempts from Barber, which Barber I think is a great submission female. I think she can definitely submit people easily on the ground. I think this is an underdog fight. I'm liking Barber over Grosso. I don't think Grosso can hang with Barber. So Barber has looked great and she's improving her wrestling, which I think is great for her. I'm taking the wrestling fighter and Barber, and I love her in this fight. Marquez versus Pitolo. So Marquez looked really good on the scales. He's looked jacked up. He's ready to go. I think the ring rust is slightly now trending downwards in this fight. This is going to be a very close fight. If we remember Julian Marquez, he's the guy who basically broke his back, his lower back. And he had to go to an MLB doctor because nobody else really could help him. Everybody else said, there's no way we can fix this. Your career's over. He went to an MLB doctor, and the doctor basically fixed him right up. After a 2.5-year layoff, he's ready to fight once again, which, like I said, the ring rust is definitely viable. But I think given that he looked good on the scales, that improved it a ton for me. Him looking jacked, him looking built, muscled up, I definitely like that in Marquez. So Pitolo, on the other hand, basically the cardio is going to be there, and he needs this to be a striking battle. He's going to need basically to hit Marquez with a one-punch knockout and win this. If I'm a live betting man, I would live bet Marquez. I think Pitolo is going to go out swinging for the fences in the first round and basically get a good shot on him. But I think Marquez bounces back in the second and third round and win this fight overall. Give me Marquez in this fight. So going to the next fight, Gastelum versus Heinisch. So Kevin Gastelum, let's talk about him for a minute, versus Ian Heinisch. So Gastelum's a guy who we've seen him fight the biggest of the biggest fighters. Basically, they're Jacare Souzas, they're Uriah Halls, all those sort of guys, the legends of the game. Just his career has been kind of a roller coaster, which lately he's a make or fade kind of fighter with this weight class. So the weight class that he's in definitely speaks for advantages of him. At his weight class, the cardio and basically his physique is there. I don't think any Heinisch can stand with him. I think the resume for Kevin Gastelum is there. I think the streak that he's on, I think this is a total bounce back candidate, basically knockout opportunity. I'm all in on Kevin Gastelum in this fight at 8,800, and I wouldn't see why you wouldn't want to go to him in this fight. I don't think Heinisch is ready for this kind of basically. I don't think Heinisch is ready for this type of tiered fight, in my opinion. Let's go to Gutierrez versus Andre Ewell. This has been a fight in the making. It's just not one of my favorites, to be honest with you. I don't like this fight overall. The reach advantage is going to be there for you. I mean, that's plain and simple. The 7-8 reach advantage is there. Gutierrez, he has to slow this fight down in order to stay in it because of the reach of the game. That leg kicks are going to be crucial for him. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This fight is too close for me to call, and I don't really like this fight in general, to be honest with you, from a DFS standpoint. So from a betting perspective, I would like to take Ewell as an underdog, basically because of the reach advantage, but I can see the kicks of Gutierrez winning this fight. Vieira versus Mallory Martin. So let's talk about this fight. Female fight. $1,000 difference. So the Martin side, the wrestling is going to have to be there for her. But from Vieira, the striking is going to have to be there for her. On the other hand, Vieira has been super inconsistent, which that kind of scares me. But we don't know what we're getting out of her. We really don't. It could be definitely, it could be 0 to 100. So, again, this fight from a DFS standpoint is not really for me. I'm just kind of crossing off this fight overall. And I don't like this whatsoever. Let's talk about Philip Rowe versus Gabe Green. So, 8,200 versus 8,000. This is going to be a GPP sort of fight that we definitely need, in my opinion. So, Green has fought the better tier of guys, basically. Rowe is the type of cardio guy who is going to need to beat Green to the punch, and he looked really good on the scales, which that's a boost up for me. I do like Philip Rowe in this fight. I think he should be able to work this fight to his advantage and basically knock out Green. I wouldn't mind taking a bet on Rowe by knockout. I think he can definitely do it for him. I'm all on the Philip Rowe side, and give me him in this fight. Vieira versus Hernandez. This is not one of the greatest fights. It's pretty much Vieira or bust. Hernandez, he's not ready for this fight. This is an awful fight for him. I don't see how he wins this fight. I think Vieira is just going to go topple on him and just basically just throw as many punches as he wants to in this fight. I don't see how Hernandez even stands a chance in this whatsoever. So I'm pretty much just full on baiting Hernandez. And if you want to go pay up for Vieira, I wouldn't blame you whatsoever. Miranda Maverick versus Robertson. Or Robertson, my bad. That's fine. This fight. So I'm all in on the Miranda Maverick side. The betting markets say Robertson. I'm saying Maverick. I wouldn't mind taking the plus money for Miranda Maverick at all. So the game plan of Robertson is going to get Maverick to the mat as fast as he can. I don't think that's going to be possible for Maverick. For Robertson, I think Maverick's basically going to keep at the pace of this fight. She's the type of person who will get in your face and just out-grapple you any moment of time. I think she pushes the pace. I think she takes her to the mat. And I think she submits basically Robertson with ease. Give me Miranda Maverick, and I think she can easily pay off that price tag. Symone versus Keller. This fight has been in the making for a while. The fight's finally happening, and this is not a bad fight whatsoever. Ricky Symone at 9,100, he should be able to do his thing. He's a polished fighter. He's a fast-paced sort of guy who wrestles. He is a great wrestler, which I think Keller is not ready for. I think Keller is going to try to wrestle with him. I think Symone easily just outclasses him. I think he outworks him. I think he outworks Brian Kelleher. I think he can easily get the submit for his side of this fight. So give me Ricky Symone at 9,100, and I don't mind him whatsoever. So for now, I'm going to skip the Green and Miller fight because I don't think that fight's going to go on. Like I said, prayers up for Bobby Green. So I'm just going to kind of X this fight off my mind and just kind of go from there. Muhammad and Lima, the brother, Diego Lima. So he's not his brother. He's not like his brother whatsoever. So Lima comes into this fight comfortable. He's ready to go. And I think the reach advantage is going to be to his advantage. But below Muhammad, he's going to outwork him. I don't see how Muhammad loses this fight, to be honest with you. The price tag's a little bit scary for me, which I don't like that price tag at all, to be honest with you guys. But I don't see how Muhammad loses this fight, basically keeping up the pace of him and just outworking Diego Lima. I don't think Lima's ready for this sort of weight class. I don't think he's ready for this fight whatsoever. Give me below Muhammad. So that wraps up UFC 258 for me. Again, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps me a ton, as y'all know. And have a great and safe rest of your day.